Oh shit. Well, fuck a countdown. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Zone 32 podcast. Everybody but Grant's here. My name is Jake. His name is Drew. His name is Will. His name is Trippy. And he was probably introduced last week, but I didn't get to introduce him. His name is motherfucking Brandon. Let's go, Brandon. Say what's up to the people.
Fuck you, Jake.
I'm here. I'm happy to
Fuck
be
you,
here.
Drew, with your echo.
How do I have a fucking echo?
We can all hear ourselves in our ear.
Exactly. I'm not Jimmy
like
Two Times from fucking Goodfellas.
Hey,
I'm not trying to be. I'm gonna go get the papers. Get the papers.
Drew's angry because he doesn't have his standard
name,
bourbon.
Drew's fucking angry because the state of Massachusetts is like, oh, you know what's a great time to do fucking road work?
What was his number coming in the NFL?
Okay, this is my favorite iteration of Drew by far. Angry Drew at traffic. This is this is beautiful.
This is the worst fucking road to drive on in the United States of America. Anybody who's ever been to Boston can verify. Store Drive fucking sucks. And these retards just fucking randomly close lanes
Rashod Bateman's
for no goddamn
number
reason.
before number 7?
Well, his number was before number 7. It was number 12. He used to support police.
That was before he painted his nails.
Yeah, hello. We got 12 days to training camp.
That's right.
We got 12 days to training camp. Ravens block 12.
Tomorrow
12 more salon days, Rashod.
Tomorrow morning, training camp passes get released
at 11 a.m.
Oh shit!
I'm gonna see how many I can get, and then
I'm gonna get as many as I can too.
I'm gonna give them all to Hassan, but I'm gonna pretend that I'm gonna give them away on Twitter.
Nice.
I got that
anyway
too.
So I've been out of the loop on the internet. What the fuck is this about Rashod Bateman using pogo stick training?
I don't know, you're just hopping around like a fucking retard today for no reason. That's real fucking helpful in game, Rashod. Great job, dumbass. That was like the fucking Pro-Shade Jugs Machine video. Like, wow, that's really fucking impressive. It doesn't fucking do anything for you, idiot.
Fuck, you think he a kangaroo?
Sounds like the man's been listening to too much System of a Down.
Okay, I'm with you on this, Drake. I love this version of Drew.
Oh yeah, no, this is a fucking treasure. This is fantastic.
Rashod,
I haven't been live for one of these, so hey, you know what?
Rashod Bateman,
asshole.
Rashod Bateman, take your dumb ass to
Just ignore me.
Florida. It's not that hard.
Keep talking.
Go get a workout.
Dumb fuck.
I'm sorry. I missed what you said, Trippy. What did you say? Sorry about that.
I said, Rashod Bateman, take your dumb ass to Florida and get a workout with Lamar. We don't want to keep seeing you working out in Arizona. We understand. I can go work out individual by myself. Go work out with 8 so you could be great. Because right now, you're giving me bus vibes, brother.
Big time.
I mean, it's hot in either place. So either way, you're gonna be dealing with hot weather. So it really doesn't matter if you're in fucking Arizona or Florida. You might as well go say what's up to your quarterback. Go fucking get in his ear and shit.
Well, it's okay. So here's my thing.
Like, did something happen to him in Florida or something?
Spencer was saying,
go to Florida, like, did something happen to him or something?
Listen, Spencer went on and on about how going and working out with the quarterback, he said, catching, running routes on air is not going to help him in season, which is bullshit. It's just, it's Spencer who's dug his heels in as a Bateman dick rider for his entire career. But
are you kidding me?
I'll tell you what is not going to help. How is jumping up and down in a fucking alley going to help you any more than going and working out with your two-time MVP quarterback?
You fucking retard.
Greatest off-season episode ever.
I was in the middle of a good point,
Cheers.
And then fucking.
If he talk to Rashod Bateman,
fucking say because we're live. All right.
Sorry, if you want to call him a cunt, Drew, call him a cunt.
Yeah, I wanted to call him your favorite fucking porn song, but I can't say that on the air. So.
That's fair. You don't want to get canceled. I totally understand that.
Tune's over, but still, can't say that.
Hold on. I have a serious question with that word. Why is it that everyone in the UK can say it, but we can't here in the U.S.
Because they're British and nobody cares what they have to say.
Yeah.
People getting their fucking feelings when they hear cunt out here. I think that's one of the few things that the Brits actually got right. I think cunt should be a more used insult term.
Why can't we say? I thought we were talking about the other one that Drew didn't say. We can say cunt all we want.
Yeah, I can say cunt all I fucking want, but that doesn't hit as hard as the other one that I wanted to say.
Right.
Nah, it really doesn't. Yeah, the other one just It's probably month is over. You're not allowed to say that anymore.
I thought that Brandon was saying that that's like a commonly used word in the UK.
It is. I think that's what they call cigarettes over in the UK.
That's true.
Yeah, they do. Those are European cigarettes.
Yeah.
No, it's
all right,
FAGS.
So back to speaking of British cigarettes. Back to Rashod Bateman. So Spencer's point was somewhat right. Like, if you're gonna rank training camp or you're gonna rank, catching balls from Lamar in Florida against air, as he said, training camp is way fucking more important. But the issue is that Rashod Bateman himself put the emphasis on working out in the offseason with Lamar, and then he's not. And like I told you guys, again, we can go back and run the fucking tape from here when everybody was jerking him off for that fucking retard interview he did, where they were like, oh, this is great. He's saying the right fucking things. Yeah, but he's not going to fucking do it because he's a dumbass. And like, that's my issue is, again, he's really athletically impressive to hop over all those fucking hurdles today. But what the fuck does that do for you on the football field? You dumbass.
Yeah. Well, the stupid thing to me about Spencer going on and on about how it's not important to go work out with Lamar. Yes, it fucking is. Period. It just is. You want to say training camp's more important? Yeah, no shit. It's that you're required by your contract to go to training camp unless you still got to be there if you're injured because you got to do your rehab. But in terms of building chemistry, you're going to build chemistry when you're working one-on-one. You're not doing team drills. It's not a large operation. It's Lamar and Rashod getting on the same page. So the little things that we saw between Zay and Lamar, between Odell and Lamar, between Nelly and Lamar, those things happen in those one-on-ones. I refuse to believe that they developed that chemistry at training camp.
I mean, Mark Andrews is, he goes to those, he goes to Florida every once in a while. He's not a Nelson Aguilar or a Zay who's, attached at the hip with Lamar, and they have fine chemistry. But the thing is I don't say shit about Mark Andrews because he puts up numbers on the field.
He's a fucking all-pro, right? I mean,
if Bateman was an all-pro or Bateman was even putting up like 700 yards a year, I'd shut my fucking mouth. But we're going into year 4, and he just barely cracked 1,000 yards for his career. He's seen the end zone 4 times. You are, and again, I cannot stress this enough. Rashod Bateman is the one who put the emphasis on the offseason workouts. It's not fucking me coming up with this shit because I don't like the guy. Like, he said it himself with his own fucking words. Nobody held a gun to his head. Nobody made him say that. He went on a fucking radio show and said that shit. And then, God forbid, I hold him accountable, or anybody holds him accountable, or anybody says, hey, Rashod, you said your fucking chemistry was a problem, and this is why your chemistry was a problem, because you were hurt and couldn't go work out with Lamar, and then you're supposedly healthy, and you still won't go fucking work out with Lamar. So why the fuck open your mouth in the first place?
Right. Agreed.
100%. I remember saying that I just want him to shut up and play football, because then he's not going to bring this unnecessary attention on himself. And everybody's like, oh, no, he's saying the right things, blah, 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 blah. Like, this is what happens. He didn't shut his fucking fat mouth, and now he's, getting made fun of online, and he can't mentally handle that. He is Ja'Kalen Dobbins 2.0. And I don't know what it is that I have this ability to pick out these soft fucking pussies who are always hurt, who think they deserve more and don't put in the work to get it. But he's another Ja'Kalen Dobbins. We're like a week away from him jumping in my DMs asking to come fight me at my house. And I'll fuck Rashod shit up. I'll give him the address.
I fuck this ass.
I mean, to keep it a buck, J.K. Dobbins has done more than Rashod Bateman to his career. He had even a slightly more valid reason to be an arrogant cunt compared to Bateman.
He had a 6-game stretch. He had a 6-game stretch where he was good.
Yeah,
Rashod had a 6-game stretch where he was good.
When he came back from that scope, When he came back from that scope, J.K. still was going off. Rashod Bateman just keep wanting to blame injuries. And like you said,
but listen, you've seen
good for Jalen. Good for Jalen.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's just crazy.
You have seen J.K. You've seen J.K. play to the potential that people expect of him. You've seen him do it on the field.
You've
No,
seen
you haven't.
Rashod play to the potential.
You haven't.
Yes,
No, you haven't. What's his best game ever? Let's look it up. I bet it's not. I don't think he's ever cracked 100 yards, has he?
No, I think he's fallen short. I think he's fallen short every. I think the closest was maybe the Dolphins.
His best game, he said it on the Ravens. It was against the Dolphins. He said that was his best ever game in the NFL, and that probably was his best ever game he had was against the Dolphins.
And it was probably like 80-something yards, right?
Yeah, because he had the 75-yard tutty against fucking.
Okay, hold on.
Howard.
In 2021, he had 103 yards against Cleveland, 103 yards.
What? Oh, that's right. Garbage with Tyler Huntley. I forgot.
He had 108 against game log. He had 108 against Miami and a touchdown. Yep. So that's the crown jewel of his career.
What did he have? Probably 75 yards against the Jets early that year. I'm saying the first 6 weeks of 2022.
He had 59. He had 59 yards and a touchdown. So like everybody talking about he had a great start to 2022. He had 59 yards and a touchdown on 2 catches against the Jets, 108 yards and a touchdown on 4 catches against the Dolphins. And then his next 2 games were 5 catches for 76 yards.
Combined.
Right. So
combined.
Oh, combined? So
yes.
What is that? Like 350 yards over the first 4 games?
No, it's less than that. It's
it's like 2 and change.
It's 240 about.
Yeah.
Oh, I was adding that Browns game in there too. Sorry.
No, yeah. So, and then he missed 2 games after the Buffalo game, and then he came back, had 4 catches for 42, and then he had the game where he got hurt against Tampa. Had put up no stats, and then his season was over. And then last year, his best game was 4 catches for 54 yards against Miami.
In a fucking blowout
in week 17, right?
So I mean, again,
week 16.
I'm not acting like Rashod Bateman in early 2022 was some fucking world beater, but for a guy who was hurt most of his rookie year, he kind of came out of the gate showing like, hey, this guy's not a complete stiff, and then he got fucking hurt. So
right, but my thing is this: JK has had games where he looks like a great NFL running back. He's had those games, and Rashod has had games where he looks like he could take a step and be a pretty good wide receiver. But those stats I just said, those aren't like wowing you. You got 25 guys every week put those stats up.
Right, but again, we're a wide receiver hungry franchise.
Yeah.
So I would love for a guy who puts up, top 25, top 30 wide receiver numbers.
Yeah, no, but I'm just saying. All I'm saying is this: a guy drafted first round wide receiver versus JK was a second round pick, right?
Yeah.
JK, the expectations, I don't know if they were as high or not. It's a different position, but JK has shown at times what he is capable of, and Rashod Bateman has never shown you what you would expect of a first round wide receiver.
If you looked at J.K. Dobbins' game log, I bet you that there would only be 1 or 2 games that would really pop to you, and the rest of them were, 10 carries, 60-yard showings in.
I'll pull it up. I'll pull it up and check. And check.
Because the thing that people kept quoting with JK was all these, elite yards per carry things. And then you look at some of his games over that stretch, and it was like 3 carries for 18 yards. And it's like, yeah, great. It's 6 yards a carry, but he didn't touch the fucking ball.
All right. So he had 15 carries for 113 yards as a rookie. He had
in a win or a loss. In a loss. Okay.
15 for 70 and a touchdown.
In a loss?
15. Yes, in a loss. 11 for 71 and a touchdown in a win. 13 for 53 and a touchdown in a win. And this is that stretch in 2020 where he scored a touchdown in 6 straight games. So we're talking about. Looks like
if he touched the ball more than 15 times, we didn't win the game.
No, you're right.
And that's total because, again, so people are clamoring for him to be this feature back for us. But when he ran the ball more, we lost. He was a great change of pace guy.
13 carries for 160 and 2 touchdowns against the Bengals is obviously his best game ever. Then we have 13 for 125 and a loss. Let's see. Yeah, 13 for 125, 15 for 120 and a win with a touchdown. So what I'm saying is he has a handful of games where he is putting up stats like a number one running back.
Is 13 carries really number one running back numbers though?
To get 125 on 13, and to get 120 on 15.
That's cracking an 80-yard run. You know what I mean? Like that's not feature back numbers. That's not 25 plus carries and like carrying the team that's coming in and hitting a home run. Which is fine. I'm not.
You don't really see that. You don't see those numbers a lot anymore, anyway. But I'm just saying the output is there. J.K. has exceeded what Rashod Bateman has done by a long shot to me.
Yeah, but that's like saying that he's the tallest midget. Like
no. Listen, I'm no J.K. Dobbins fan. I'm just saying that if you want to compare the two, J.K. Dobbins had more of a right to be a bitch about. He put it on tape what he can do, and Rashod Bateman really has.
He held out for a fucking contract after he missed 2/3 of the game of his career.
Again, I'm not defending J.K. Dobbins the player. I'm defending him against Rashod Bateman. He's a tier above Rashod Bateman.
But I'm saying J.K. used to voice his opinion just because he knew the type of player he was. The thing is, Bateman don't do that, bro.
He cried after a win that he didn't touch the ball.
Yeah, I'm gonna just do whatever the coach.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, again, to me, they're both fucking gigantic pussies who think higher themselves than everybody else does. And when nobody else, reciprocates their feelings towards themselves, they get sad and they pout. And they don't show up to things they're supposed to. And they like passive-aggressive tweets. And they fucking cry about stuff. So to me, they're the same guy. I mean, if you want to say that you'd rather have J.K. Dobbins than Rashod Bateman, fine. I don't want either guy here is really the crux of the issue.
Okay.
I think he's going to end up getting traded to the Ravens West.
Rashod?
Yeah, good. Get him the fuck out of here.
That would be fantastic.
What else
the only
do we have?
Player that honestly I kind of would miss from LA. That group that went to the Chargers is really just Gus Edwards.
Yeah, Gus was great. I mean, he was the perfect running back that you want. He never cried for the fucking ball. He knew what you were going to get every time you gave him the ball. And, consistent other than that one injury, he was almost always healthy. He gave you a little bit catching the ball. He gave you a little bit blocking. Like, he was fine. There was nothing wrong with Gus Edwards.
Speaking of that, Leonard Fournette, what do you guys think about bringing him in to be part of this running back group?
I wouldn't hate it.
I want to see what Keaton Mitchell has. Is Keaton Mitchell a guy who's back week 2?
No, no chance.
No, I mean, we don't know, so can't answer that question right now.
I'd be fine with signing Fournette going into camp to see what's going on with Keaton, and then if we need to keep him around, we keep him around.
I mean, this strikes me again as a fucking Dalvin Cook signing.
So let's see, why is we going?
Yeah, right. I mean, I'm kind of with Trippy. Like,
why bring in Leonard Fournette?
I don't want to bring back Dalvin Cook either.
He big as shit. He's slow. Like, we already got Derrick Henry. We don't need no other big back.
Let Patrick Ricard run the ball.
And then you gotta think about it.
Amen to that.
Got the other dude. Don't forget about Owen Wright, number 36, the big bruiser. He a big bruiser too. Little stock.
Yeah, I mean, you got that.
You know what I'm talking about?
Who was it? Ali, the kid that we took in like the 5th round.
And you know how we handle running backs though. Rookie running backs.
Yeah, we just kind of ride the hot hand.
I don't see us bringing in.
Who was that one that ended up going to Denver?
I don't see that happening.
Oh,
kid from Missouri.
Bateman.
Yeah, Tyler Bailey. Tyler Beatty.
Beatty. He had like one good game in Denver.
See, it was just a number. It was a numbers games with him. That's why we ain't keep him. Because remember, we already had a lot of running backs.
Yeah, I mean, if we sign Leonard Fournette, I'm not going to be mad about it. I'm just not. I don't particularly care for him or bringing him in.
Hey, Drew, fuck all that. I'd rather us sign Michael Thomas for all that.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we need to sign.
Bring in Michael Thomas, a nice vet.
Noted football and Ravens expert Lamar Translator said to bring in Michael Thomas. So there's another intelligent human being that's, in the anti-Will camp.
Mo's also has a lot of questionable takes.
Not Mo, I said Lamar Translator.
Oh.
It was actually Lamar Jackson's girlfriend, but we're not supposed to say that out loud.
I'm just dumb tonight.
That's fine. It happens. Being around Will too much does that to people.
He doesn't hang around me.
He's hanging around you right now, and you're rubbing off on him with your anti-Michael Thomas nonsense.
Hey, yo, hey, Drew, you peep how Will is? Last week, we was losing, right? The Orioles lost. He was all sad on the podcast. The day we lost, look at him. He look all sad and shit.
No, I'm just checking my
phone. Fan will do that to you.
How's Trippy going to say what I look like? His face isn't even on the fucking camera.
Yeah, Trippy, why are you being an asshole not showing your face? Can't believe you'd do something like that on a live podcast.
You're showing your steering wheel.
I'm black as shit.
Yeah, no,
I'm not. It's dark as shit.
I'm not showing my face either. That was the joke. But
Can you see me now? Hello? Can you see me?
Yep.
Trippy's joining the Hell's Angels. I don't know if you guys saw his video, but he's about to be a biker guy.
Trippy join the Hell's Angels. They racist as a motherfucker. They don't like people who aren't light skinned.
Yeah,
hey, Jake.
I was gonna say they might lure.
Jake, you gotta see that video, Jake. You gotta see that video, Jake. That shit was crazy.
No doubt, yeah.
The commentary,
yeah,
that shit. If that shit doesn't go viral, I will be shocked. The fucking commentary is so goddamn funny.
That's fair.
Yeah, but most
shit, Hawk 2 went fucking viral.
I should have found her ass.
So we can't bring her.
She went left. I went right. I should have went to the left.
There it is.
All I remember is the last time I sent a motorcycle video.
You had my second home in the background.
Me?
Huh?
You say I had your second home in the background?
Oh yeah, I see it. M&T.
Yeah, I'm talking about in the video, in the biker video, you can see the bank. You can see M&T bank in the background.
It's right there. It's so perfect.
It look even perfect.
It's a fucking hilarious video.
Yo, anybody listening to this podcast, man, if y'all see that video, please send me that girl at name, man. I gotta find her. I want me and her pull up to the bank week 2 on the motorcycle.
Fucking trying to roll deep against the nation. I respect it.
Trippy gonna be the backpack.
She flashed.
He's gonna be holding on. He's gonna be sitting on the back, sitting on the back of the bike, holding on to them handlebars.
So I got
10 more minutes. She had a black.
What do we have?
We have Drew for 10 more minutes.
And both of her legs.
Yeah, Drew for 10 more minutes.
She was.
Hey, what's with this bullshit I see on the internet about fucking Justin Simmons? What kind of malarkey's happening? Just internet rumors? Fake news?
I haven't seen anything like that.
I mean,
I see your videos of if we get this, it's over. I'm like, okay, where's your source? So I'm like, okay, where's your source? Don't feed me don't feed me no bullshit.
Was there a reason that the Justin Simmons stuff picked up, or no?
That's the question I'm asking. Is I have no idea.
See, I saw that
people talking about it like
somebody real.
I thought it was just a Facebook thing.
I think it's just a rumor.
I
take him.
Bullshit.
But I mean, it'd be a good.
Of course,
it'd be a good pickup.
He'd be great.
But do we got the money for it?
Well, that's the thing. If he's looking to sign a vet minimum contract with a bunch.
I'll say this:
if you're looking to,
if you're waiting this long in the offseason to sign somewhere, your price number ain't gonna be as high as you want. You're gonna be going for a dirtbag cheap. Because if you're waiting until August to sign, I can see that, but at the same time, they're still not going to come to this price. If it's a high price, I'm like, you wait the entire offseason to sign with somebody. You ain't gonna get the bag. Maybe next year if you ball, But it ain't gonna be this year. You'll get a little something.
Tweet was from Ravens Nation Live, and the source was
get like
Clifton
a 1-year improvement
G.
deal.
Brown.
Get the fuck out of here with that whack bullshit. That's fucking. That's that fucking malarkey. Well, you know, that'd be cool if this fucking guy who works for the Ravens says, yeah, that'd be cool to sign him. Some fucking Poindexter ass bullshit. Fuck them.
I called them Ravens Dove Climate, and he did not take kindly to it. So
it is Ravens Dove Climate. I almost said the wrong word right now, Drew. I almost said the greatest corn song ever written.
Yeah,
almost. I was close.
Coach Evans is tweeting about the title of our live stream right now. He thinks it's very funny.
I respect that.
What even is the title?
That's good.
It's Bateman Pogo Stick Training.
I like it.
That could go.
I ain't gonna lie, Bateman
could.
Bateman probably watching. He probably watching this live right now.
Yeah, he's probably watching this live instead of getting his fucking ass to Florida and doing what the fuck he's supposed to do.
He popped in that one time on that burner shit, or someone did.
That burner shit was hilarious.
Which I'm just saying, if you go pop up, if you go pop up on a fucking on a live with a picture of you with some fucking emo hair and some black fucking nail polish, when we were young fesses in October, you might want to go there. That's the only time you're gonna be rocking black nail polish and girl pants and shit. Going back to fucking Scene Kid days when Will remembers.
I heard he wasn't working out with the ball. Because he's getting his clothing line together.
Yeah, he's probably getting ready to go listen to the Used.
If he sells butterfly t-shirts,
that's real.
That man's trying to listen to a box full of sharp objects or fucking
Trippy.
blue and yellow.
Everybody, be quiet. Trippy, is that real? What you just said
about the clothesline?
That's what I heard.
Okay. I'm just making sure you weren't saying a joke. That's what you heard.
Hold on, I'm gonna go search this shit up.
And I heard it from multiple. And look, I heard it from multiple people too. So I don't know how true it is. I ain't trying to start no rumor, but if that shit is true, cause look, I called in the Bob and Vinny show today, right? And I straight told him, like, I don't think Rashod Bateman want to be a Raven, because, like, if you go back to the interview, he was shocked he got an extension, right? Then he thought he was going to get traded. Then, like Drew said, going off the interview he had, my chemistry was off. You know, I was injured, blase. Me and Lamar, we going to work out together, blah, 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 this and that. And here we go. It's about to be 12 days to training camp. We ain't see not one video of him. Yeah, you got people keep saying, "Oh, you don't need to see videos," but why the
you
fuck
know his ass.
Videos is
you
always
know the
outside
second
the
his
law.
ass is within 5 feet of Lamar, he's posting a fucking video of that and probably tagging Will and I in it. But you know for a fact the second that guy shows up at a any Lamar kind of event, he'll make it known. He cares about social media, no matter what he tries to tell you. He fucking listens to everything. And he cares a lot.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, he saved a picture of Will for months to try to tweet back at him and failed miserably. But again, like, that guy is real fucking dialed into social media and really fucking cares about our opinion because he's a fucking moron.
I'm saying though, all that shit y'all be talking about him, like, I'm surprised he ain't blocked y'all.
He doesn't have the balls to block me because he knows it'll make it worse.
Still don't get that, though.
Yeah, I don't know why he blocked you and not me,
That's
but
wild.
Yeah, he's a strange character. I mean, what else? A new guy paints his fucking nails and apparently skips, going to hang out with his quarterback to make a fucking clothing line. If he sells butterfly t-shirts, I'm gonna fucking buy one and fucking fill it with quarters and beat him up with it.
Oh man,
Will knows I have enough change.
He'll say fill it. He'll
get C and D.
To beat the shit out of.
He'll get C and D by Channel 3.
Yeah, I mean, I am far more pro Channel 3 than I am pro Channel 7. Where the fuck he's gonna call his,
I ain't
stupid
gonna
brand.
lie. I fuss with Channel 3. I got some Channel 3 apparel. You feel me? Shout out to Channel 3.
I was gonna have to buy our buddy Mo Stone was gonna pull the butterfly shirt out of retirement if Proche ever got 100 yards receiving in a game. I think I'm safe though. I don't think that's gonna happen anytime soon.
Maybe if he goes to the UFL. Goes to the UFL, maybe he got a chance. Otherwise,
NFL games only.
He's gonna end up being like Josh Gordon.
Yeah, go to CFL and fucking.
Hey, that's what I meant to say. Did y'all? That's what I meant to say. Man, we can skip Rashod Bateman because I'm tired of talking about his ass. But did y'all see that boy Justin Madubuike working out though? I think that boy might have over 20 sacks this year.
It's got shades of Aaron Donald.
Sounds good.
It's the next Aaron Donald. People were saying.
I tell you, yeah, he did.
Wasn't he actually?
Yeah, I think yeah.
Yeah, that was Spencer. That was a hit from Spencer. So missed on Rashod, but he's.
We lost Will there for a second.
Oh shit! I didn't even catch that.
I don't know what's up with Spencer, man. Spencer keep wanting to be on Rashod Bateman, man.
He's a positive guy.
Trash, man.
Look. I'll give Spencer his credit. He is consistently positive about players. He's always been that way, and so he's not giving Rashod special treatment. That's the same way he talks about every other Ravens player, and if that's how he chooses to consume Ravens content, is that he wants to look for the best in guys and make the argument that this guy is good and whatever, then, I mean, he's consistent about it. He's not, picking and choosing favorites and shit and, playing semantics games. So I think Rashod's a fucking pussy, and I think Rashod needs to step away from the microphone, step away from social media, step away from doing dumb shit like making a clothing line and focus on football. But that's just me. I don't know.
I'd say it's fair.
That's honestly fair.
Somebody said he trying to get a head start on his second career.
Yeah, fashion designer, man.
Start on his second career.
Which I mean, I don't blame
use of that $15 million.
The guy for or any of these players for finding a second behind the scenes after they're all said and done with the league.
Guys, have fun without me. Yeah, hopefully Will shows up.
Bye, Drew.
Enjoy.
All right. See you, Drew.
All right, Drew. You need to die real quick.
No.
Go on, die.
All right, Drew.
Go fuck yourself, Jake.
Fuck you too, Drew.
Fuck you, Jake.
You got ball hair coming out your chin, homie.
Fuck you, Jake. Fuck you, Jake. Fuck you, Jake.
Your hair, your beard looks like.
All right, Will's back.
I don't know what the fuck happened.
Drew's beard looks like the fucking box of pubes that Carmen got in that episode of South Park with Scott Tenorman. That's what his beard looks like.
I'm agree with y'all on Spencer keeps it 100. The dude is one hell of a positive dude. Keeps it that way 100%.
Yeah, he's consistent about his takes. But yeah.
And as far as what Trippy was saying about the whole Justin Madubuike thing, dude has been literally training with Aaron Donald as far as I know of. So it wouldn't surprise me none to see him reach like 20 plus sacks.
Yeah, it's hard to do for an interior edge rusher. He's one of one. He's the only interior rusher to really do that. I mean, Reggie White kind of did that in his Philly days but although they kind of moved him around a bit, it's still the most astounding thing. Go back to '87 is the strike shortened season where he put up 20 sacks in 12 games. That's It's a never will be done again. Never will happen. Which is insane. 20 sacks in 12 games is fucking that's some shit.
I mean, yeah, you're right. It is gonna be hard though, but I'm just saying the way I can see him getting it because what he had 13 this year, 13 and a half.
Career high. He has a career high 13 sacks this past year. Which again, if you reach double digit sacks as an interior defensive lineman, you're working. You having a hell of a year. Like what Aaron Donald did as far as just being a pass rusher from the inside goes, anomaly. Probably won't see that again. But still, I mean, either way.
Mads is going to be the closest thing to it, I feel like, going forward.
Yeah, I can see that because really.
And I'm trying not to throw our Ravens bias in there, but it's just like, it's hard not to see it.
Well, that and really outside of him, I mean, and then I guess Cam Hayward from the Steelers when he's healthy, there aren't a lot of interior pass rushers that eat like that in the league. Not today. Like most of the time, you'll see him hit 9 sacks, 8 sacks, 7 sacks a season, and they'll be having a really good year, like an Eric Armstead, like a DeForest Buckner. Those type of dudes, they'll do that type of shit. But getting double digits is hard to do from that position. So when you see it, that's something you got to take a look at and just tip your cap to, because that is balling. I know we kind of got used to that, just seeing J.J. Watt do that for years, and then Aaron Donald do that right after. Like, kind of got spoiled by those two for that.
But with J.J. Watt, though, he was more of a traditional defensive end, though.
I mean, they moved him around quite a bit, because you remember when he started in the league, he played under Wade Phillips, 34 defensive end, 5 technique. So you'd see him rush outside, and then you'd see him rush inside, and then he kind of set the blueprint for Aaron Donald, which is find the bad offensive lineman on the offensive line and let JJ go to work on him. Aaron Donald gets drafted, he has his rookie year, and then Jeff Fisher and them are doing the same thing. Like, I bet. Let's do the same shit. Let's move him around, find the weak link, let him go hunt.
And I think our wonderful defensive coordinator is going to be doing the same thing.
I'm interested to see him with what Zach Orr does and what he brings to the table. Because remember, he started his career playing for Dean Pease. He coached under Dean Pease. He wasn't necessarily like a direct position coach, but I think I'm pretty sure he was a real low-level assistant Dean Pease's last year with the Ravens. Still was a low-level assistant under Wink for a few years. So you got to see the aggressive schemes between those two. And then, of course, he leaves to go coach at Urban Meyer, and that was a disaster. Comes back, learns under Mike McDonald for the past 2 years. So I think we're going to see kind of a mix of everybody he's learned from. He'll know when to be aggressive. He'll know when to fucking send the house, and he'll also know when to play safe and when to create disguised fucking match fucking blitzes. Basically, those 5-man rushes where you're setting a nickel defender off the edge and then everyone else is in zone or matchup zone.
Yeah, from 17 to 20, he was a defensive analyst. Then, like you said, 21, he went to the Jags with
Joe Cullen and Urban Meyer.
My wife's going to kill me when she hears me say this, but the atrocity that was Urban Meyer with the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Man, probably worst professional head coach ever outside of Bobby Petrino. And even then, it's an argument. It's a legit argument.
Then, as we all know, came back as an inside linebackers coach.
Yep. So that's the thing. He's learned from quite a few defensive minds. So I'm real interested to see what he does. And he's got his work cut out for him week 1, because he gets to match wits with the greatest play caller of our generation offensively. The fucking wizard. All the fucking plays.
Now, going off topic here, Urban Meyer was a phenomenal college coach, but like Nick Saban,
there's no arguing that.
But like Nick Saban, just couldn't translate to the league.
Yeah, and even Nick Saban, some of his players will still argue on his behalf because he was really good. He knew what he knew. It was just a matter of control over his personnel and his players, and getting more money at Alabama. Easier gig compared to coaching the NFL, playing Belichick twice a year.
Exactly. But
Urban Meyer, that motherfucker was like, who's 99? Why is he dominating us? In a fucking 41-7 blowout loss to the fucking Rams.
It's horrible what happens when coaches cannot translate to the league.
Yeah.
We take for granted players, but it's just a whole nother level of what the fuck is going on here once we see coaches do this shit.
That's the truth. It's a whole new commitment on there because you're fucking eating, sleeping, and breathing the shit 17, 18 hours a day. Nonstop. Will has returned.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell's going on. My laptop's been plugged in the whole time and it fucking died. So I don't know.
May have to get a new one.
Fucking whack ass shit.
Won't be doing that.
I was gonna say, sound like Grant. I didn't charge my laptop last night.
No, my shit stays plugged in all the time, so I don't know why it would not be.
I do the same thing.
We'll figure that out for next time.
But as far as all that goes, I'm excited for Zach Orr. Like, what was it? The first night I was on, or in a while, I think it was 116, but there at the end, where we were talking about it's the same scheme but different boss. I think you said that, Will, or something similar.
Yeah, no, that is right. I do recall. Yeah, you said that about Zach Orr because he's
right.
Well, we'll have his tweaks. I think he'll even. I still think he might take a couple things from Wink and from Dean Pease under coaching under them, even in his really early years. I mean, he learned directly under Mike. But even that being said, I think he'll take bits and pieces from all three and be him.
As long as you don't have that conservative, like, deep zone shit that Dean Pease lost the 2014 playoff game with. That was
against the Pats?
Yeah.
The fucking the ineligible eligible receiver bullshit. I mean, even then they were playing with fucking Wink Martindale called them DoorDash corners in 2021. Those are fucking Grubhub corners that they were playing with in 2014. Jimmy Smith was gone, so you had Anthony Levine doing his best out there. Fucking what's his face? Rashawn Melvin, who wound up being a fucking journeyman corner around the league. And shit, I forget who else was back there in the secondary at that point. They were just riddled with injuries.
That whole. But I'm with you. I think that Zach Orr will take a mix of everything, but I think overall he'll keep the same scheme. But as far as play calling goes, we'll take a nice mix of everyone.
Yeah, I think we'll probably see them play a little more man this year, having brought in Nate Wiggins. But I mean, we'll see on that. I think we might see a little more man coverage than we did last year.
Yeah, I think that's probably why we invested in speed. Yep. And TJ Tampa is another guy who plays man. So
big physical corner.
Right.
I love man coverage.
I saw that the fucking dog. Get out of here. Get.
Which is kind of funny because the league is kind of shied away from man coverage because quarterbacks coming out of college have gotten really good at beating man coverage and beating blitzing because your corner's left on the island and receivers nowadays, when you're not allowed to touch them, get burned for. That's why fucking everyone thought Joe Burrow was good against us because Wink didn't give a fuck. He's going blitz no matter who was out there. Mm-hmm. Fast forward to the past 2 years, it's been quiet. He's had to think a little more. He's had to be a little more decisive, and he struggled against us.
And I want to also make another comment about, Cincy versus us back then in 2020. Or was it 21? Anyways,
2021.
So, as most of y'all know, I'm originally from this greater Cincinnati area. Most of my friends and family, Cincinnati Bengals fans. Every time they bring up the 525 game, I'm like, y'all played a bunch of Walmart baggers and cashiers.
They played a preseason team. They played against a preseason team.
And they want to say, well, it's in the regular season, a win's a win. I'm like, yeah.
Cool. Don't get mad whenever we beat y'all if T. Higgins is compromised or Jamar Chase is compromised or if nobody is compromised. How about you get out of your feelings and stop having sex with your brother? Understand. And, my father lives in Madison, Indiana. He's not far from that particular area. Well, I'm fully aware of the happenings over there in the hillside heights.
You are fully aware of everything that I go through on a daily basis.
Oh yeah, he's surrounded by them because Louisville, Kentucky is not very far from Madison, Indiana, and a lot of those people. I mean, well, now there's Lamar fans out there that root for the Ravens, but before that, there were people who would eat that old Skyline chili and use Ancestry.com to find themselves a date to the family reunion. So that's what they do. It's not everybody, but they're
bad for that.
Yes, Kentucky Bengals fans, man. Kentucky Bengals fans. They are bad for that.
All right, listen to this. The Athletic.
Bring it.
Under 11.5 wins at -160. And then here's what they say. We've covered how the Ravens will have a little more bounce to their step thanks to the schedule makers, but they'll need it as they have a lot more work to do, or they have more work to do replacing most of their offensive line, linebackers, and entire secondary. What the fuck are they talking about?
Entire secondary? What do you mean?
Who did we lose in the secondary? We lost
Geno Stone.
We lost who was the other cornerback we lost?
Because let's see. Beef Steve stayed.
Trippy, you're there.
Ronald Darby.
Ronald Darby. So
and he was it. He was a street pickup in fucking August.
And he was like the fifth cornerback.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he eventually got up to CB3, CB4.
Ronald Darby wasn't the fifth cornerback. He was more like the CB2. Because remember when Marlon went down, it was majority of
him and
Ronald Darby and Brandon Stevens starting.
But okay, here's my point. To say they lost their entire secondary is dishonest.
Laughable.
It's a fucking lie. I mean, we have
that's just stupid.
And Geno Stone was not a starter. Marcus Williams was hurt for the majority of the season.
And then he came back hurt. Played with a torn pec the entire year.
We have a healthy Marcus Williams. We still have Marlon. We have Kyle Hamilton, who I think
arguably
most people
the
would
best
say
safety in the league.
Right, exactly. If he's not the best, he's top 3. But I think
in that conversation.
He's certainly, there's an argument to be made that he's the best safety in football. We got Mollett back, and we drafted 2 cornerbacks. So what the fuck are they talking about? If anything, the secondary is a lot better this year than it was last year.
It is. Without question, it is. I mean, really, to me, the concerns are offensive line makes a ton of sense. I get why there's concern there, which, I mean, we made the move last year to draft Voorhees late as a hope for this year. Replacing 3 starters along the offensive line is difficult. So I get that. I could see why that could be a problem this year. But even still, I'm willing to bank on our offensive line coaches developing the dudes that are there, and Ben Cleveland playing well enough to get himself a second contract from some other team. Because I mean, he played well against the Dolphins. For the word right now is that he's struggling in fucking OTAs where you're not allowed to, or in fucking mandatory minicamp where you're not allowed to touch your opponent. Who gives a fuck?
We got our first comment of the night, boys.
Oh, my guy Brandon, I love this guy.
That's right. That
was him.
First off, I don't recognize that particular Bengals fan. The only Zim I know was from a Nickelodeon cartoon in the early 2000s. So whoever
that was a good show.
Exactly. It was a good show. It was a funny one.
I don't know a damn thing about that. I was literally an adult when that came out. So
that was beyond your time, which that's totally fine.
Back with the dinosaurs.
Yeah. It was a bit past your time, which is okay. But even still, that fucking guy, he's a clown. Like, who gives a fuck? That guy gets on their little fucking Twitter spaces and starts fucking yelling about bullshit, saying the T. Higgins contract is a wrap 2 years ago, when it's looking more and more like he might be there for this year, and he'll probably, if they're bad enough, he'll be a trade deadline candidate.
Now,
Geno Stone is not a major loss.
No.
Geno Stone is a good signing for them, I guess. I mean, I don't even really know what kind of money he signed. I think he signed for like $7 or $8 million or something like that.
$6.5 million years, 2 years, $13 million.
Yeah. So, I mean, he's a good depth safety.
Yeah. He made the most of his opportunity when Marcus Williams went down. But even that being said, I mean, he's still not a replacement for Jesse Bates and Von Bell for him.
No, right. And on our side, he was sort of a luxury because he was, I mean, by far, he was the third safety. And I think, honestly, what we're seeing is like Marcus Williams is a top 10 safety in the league.
When he's healthy, yeah.
And Kyle Hamilton is a top 1 to 3 safety in the league. Now, I think you can plug in a mediocre safety into this system, and because of the way it lets safeties kind of like move around to make plays, you can take a guy who isn't going to be as productive in another system and make them pretty productive here. So I think Geno Stone was the beneficiary of the Mike Mack positionless football system. But like Brandon's saying now, he just made another good point. If Simmons comes and we have 3 legit, top tier safeties out there, man, that's going to be fucking scary. And I think honestly, like if you want to talk about the Athletics saying we lost our entire secondary, if we had Simmons, I think we have the best secondary in football by a wide margin. We already have I think an argument that we have a top 5-ish secondary unit because of the safety, the level of safety play we get. And if Marlon isn't hurt and Marlon plays as we've seen him play before, obviously there's questions about CB2. There's questions about what we're going to be doing in the slot, but still, just the level of talent that we know we already have. Adding Justin Simmons to that, holy shit, that would be fucking crazy.
Sick.
Yeah,
that would be legit sick.
Mm-hmm.
Playmakers, defensive line have an opportunity. Free for a couple of second or two longer to go hunt the quarterback.
Tight ends are going to be in hell against us.
Hell. Oh yeah, no question. Can't beat us over the middle by doing that.
No, like and if they do get Justin Simmons, you know what that signals? They're saying Travis Kelce will not be the reason we lose again.
No, and even then, Travis Kelce wasn't the reason we lost that game. It was Patrick Mahomes making ridiculous throws.
Well, but I mean, Travis Kelce had 11 targets for 11 catches, 116 yards, and 2 touchdowns, right?
And he did. And the one tutty that he caught was an impossible play to make for Kyle Hamilton. He's in perfect position.
Right.
And he made he threw it in the one place where nobody but Travis.
And it wasn't an easy catch either. It's just those two guys have great chemistry, but to beef up the safety position even more than it already is the Ravens saying we learn from our mistakes. That's like going out and prioritizing Derrick Henry. We know we fucked up. We went into the playoffs, we deviated from our identity, and we're not going to do that again because Derrick Henry will not stand by and let you, So if you go get Justin Simmons, I'm not saying that's going to happen, but if they do that, that's a very clear message about the plans for this season and learning from huge mistakes that led to disappointment and all the bullshit that we hear all off season from people like Mo.
Yep, that's accurate. Because otherwise, really, the only concerns to me as far as this team goes, wide receiver, I don't give a fuck about. The Ravens are going to be a part of the trend that you're going to see in offenses this year. You're going to see more offenses playing with 2 wide and 2 tight ends. And we have Isaiah Likely and Mark Andrews to work with over the middle. I ain't fucking sweating that. The concerns to me, offensive line, then maybe your pass rush. And even that because you're banking on Owe or Ojabo making a tremendous leap and being a 10-sack artist. Or even 8 to 9 sack artist. Like basically,
So, but and Brandon is making great points. Good contribution this week by Brandon.
Yes.
But the offensive line, I'm not worried about either. We drafted Voorhees to be a starter, knowing he was a redshirt. He probably was a second, third round pick before he got hurt. So I think you can pretty much pencil him in as a starter. And on the other side, that's the question mark. But again, the possibilities there are people who've been here in the system. You would think Ben Cleveland by this point could play at least competently, surrounded by good players. So Rosengarten is going to be he's going to be I think the starter at right tackle. And when you have Linderbaum to your left, you got to be really, really bad.
It's life a lot easier.
Yeah, exactly. That's why John Simpson looked better last year than you would expect him to, because he's playing next to Linderbaum. And when Ronnie Stanley is playing well, Ronnie Stanley obviously didn't play consistently, but when Ronnie Stanley plays well, he's an all-pro.
The left guard and when Ronnie Stanley plays well, the left guard next to him looks really good.
Right,
there's
exactly.
There's a reason why Ben Powers got the contract he got from the Broncos. He played like shit for the first 3 years of his career. And then his last year of his rookie deal came up, and he was a pretty damn good guard.
Right. Well, and Bozeman before that, and Bozeman hasn't been, I mean, aside from when he was here, he hasn't looked all that great, right? He's on his second team.
Nope. Yep.
So, yeah, I mean, Ronnie helps, but we need to see a consistent Ronnie. But these questions aren't ones that I'm losing any sleep over. I don't have, there is no position group that really worries me. You know, everybody looks at, I think it may have been Spencer who said this. The funny thing about the wide receiver group is if Bateman takes a step forward, this is the best wide receiver group that Lamar is going to have had, because it's going to have, it's Zay year 2 is going to be a big difference from Zay year 1. We have a true deep threat. So we're not going to be running, Bateman deep, trying to track balls down the field. We're not going to be using Nelson Aguilar in a bigger role than he should be, because I think as a role player, he's much more effective than as a feature. So I don't know. I think the wide receivers, they don't bother me. They don't worry me. I think the people who run their mouths about, the shortcomings of the roster,
they're paying too much fucking attention to fantasy football.
They're
keep loading up on receivers. Like, all right, there's one football to go around.
They need something to be mad about.
Yep.
Exactly.
And just based on what EDC did building last year's team and what he's done going into this season, there's no reason to be concerned that there's going to be a drop off. I don't think. We're still going to have Lamar Jackson on the field. Lamar Jackson has gotten better, I think, every single year. Even when you go from 2019 to 2020, he was doing things in 2020 that he was doing better than he did in 2019. Injuries were the problem, and then play calling and all sorts of other things. But as far as Lamar,
also not getting the same protection along the offensive line.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
2019 came about. He sat behind a fucking wall.
Right. Yeah, Lamar as a professional has improved, I think, year over year. There's little things that creep up. Sometimes his mechanics regress. He falls back into bad habits, but he had those bad habits in 2019. So I think we've seen Lamar puts in that work in the offseason to get better. And just the fact that he showed up, he lost all that weight. He wants to be more, more elusive than he already is. That's pretty scary. I think he's realizing, all right, I have Derrick Henry. So if you wanted to have a little thunder and lightning out there, Derrick Henry's the guy who's going to run people over. Lamar can be the guy who makes people miss. He doesn't have to worry about taking big hits. So I don't know. I just I see every season we have a healthy Lamar Jackson going into it, and EDC has addressed things that were clearly wrong to end last season. That being the running back position, and focusing on not getting beat by tight ends, getting off the field on third down. EDC's even said that getting off the field on third down is a big thing. So I am not worried about this roster at all. I still think we're going to add a guy or two who are going to be players who are on the field a lot. I don't think any of them will be. I don't think
under Tom Monken.
Yeah,
things will get better because
I don't think any of those players are going to be Michael Thomas. Just to be clear.
Nah, honestly, and here's the thing to keep a buck. As much slander as we've thrown towards Rashod Bateman, if I'm choosing between Michael Thomas and Rashod Bateman today, I'm taking Rashod Bateman.
Same.
Here's another.
They play the same game,
right?
And the only difference is Michael Thomas has a lower ceiling than Bateman, but he has a higher floor than Bateman. That's really it. And even then, he's still probably going to get hurt. So really, if I'm picking and choosing between Sideshow Bob or fucking Balenciaga Bateman, I'd be picking Balenciaga Bateman.
Well, and Michael Thomas doesn't have anything to prove in the NFL. Like, I'm sure he wants to win a championship. Oh, I would think he would at this point in his career. He has one of the greatest seasons.
Oh, he has something to prove.
Well, he has
shit. He He has to prove that he can still be a legit receiver without.
He could retire if he wanted to. The fact that he's been hurt so much makes me think physically he may not be capable. Like at this point in his career, after all these injuries, I don't know that he's capable of being a guy that can prove much of anything other than the fact that he can still be in the league. We know he can. I mean, he played fine last year, but he's not Michael Thomas 2019 Michael Thomas, and he never will be. So I think Rashod Bateman, on the other hand, is somebody who has a ton to prove. He has never, ever gotten anywhere close to his potential. So when you want to put those two next to each other, like you said, they have a very similar game. They thrive, across underneath, across the middle, running slants, quick, getting the ball quick, getting first downs, right? So I think Bateman is faster than him. Bateman is hungrier than him, you would think. I don't know. He doesn't really prove it to us in his behaviors, but you would think he has a lot of career left ahead of him. So this would be a year where you would think he would try and show somebody something, whether it be, coming out of this. We obviously have him for 2 more years after this if we want him, but maybe make himself, appealing as a trade target for somebody in the offseason, even at the trade deadline. I don't know. But Michael Thomas doesn't have any of that stuff that's going to motivate him. The only thing that motivates him at this point is continuing to get NFL paychecks and maybe win a championship, because he's achieved other things individually. He's achieved a lot.
Agreed.
I'll agree with that 100%.
It's so nice. It's so nice. Nobody disagreeing with me. Drew's not here, so.
I get the allure of a big name receiver and everything like that, but this isn't 2019. He hasn't been the same dude.
Now, if for some reason CeeDee Lamb refuses to play for the Cowboys and they need a trade partner, trade them whatever they want. That is a guy who I am willing to sell everything for. Because if you had him out there with Lamar, with Zay Flowers, with Mark Andrews, with Isaiah Likely, with Derrick Henry,
changes things.
That changes everything. Changes everything. And especially because if you acquire him via trade, unless he's willing to come here and play on whatever money he's making now because it's his best chance to win a championship and then go get paid next year, I think the idea behind a trade is you immediately extend him, because that's why he's holding out with the Cowboys. So, CeeDee Lamb to me is the dream. It will not happen, but if that were a possibility, go for it. Otherwise, I'm fine the way we are. Brandon just mentioned Cortland Sutton. I'd be fine with that too. He's not a CeeDee Lamb, but he would be a great wide receiver too. So that's my thoughts on wide receiver. I don't know that any kind of like gigantic move is going to happen. If it were to happen, it would happen in season. It would happen, somewhere in that week 5 to between week 5 and the trade deadline. But I find it unlikely, unless we have unless like Zay gets hurt or something like that.
It's kind of wild to me to see the receiver market blow up exponentially the way it has, when you have a position that's so reliant on having a quality player at another position for you to be successful. Like, there are few and far there aren't that many receivers who can ball the way you see receivers ball now with bad quarterback play. Calvin Johnson was famous for it. D-Hop was famous for it with the Texans, fucking Tom Savage and Brock Osweiler. I mean, there aren't that many.
Calvin Johnson, he had a great quarterback. He just didn't have anything else.
Well, later. But I mean, when Stafford was hurt, you'd have Sean Hill throwing him the ball.
Right.
And even before that, fucking Dan Orlovsky or fucking John Kitna.
Calvin Johnson could thrive with me throwing the ball to him, but
exactly,
he had Matthew Stafford, who, if you want to talk about a perfect
Hall of Fame quarterback
for Calvin Johnson's skill set, Matthew Stafford was the perfect quarterback for him.
Yeah, and because he threw it up to him. Which again, Stafford is a Hall of Famer. He's gonna go to the Hall of Fame.
Yep.
Which is, I think it was earlier this year or last year, I was of the mind Russell Wilson is not a Hall of Fame quarterback, given what I've seen in the most recent years. I look at his accolades, and I didn't realize he was a fucking 9-time Pro Bowler. And I was like, that's going to be hard to keep him out just because of the fucking accolades and the voting and shit. I'm like, damn. Because, I mean, I don't see it. Like, he was he was okay.
I don't know.
But, I mean,
as
soon as he left Seattle.
No MVP.
Yeah.
You can't just put every quarterback in who wins the Super Bowl. And Pro Bowls are sort of like, if you have everything else, then you could say, and he went to 9 Pro Bowls. But you're not getting in because of Pro Bowls. I mean, the fans are half the reason you make it to a Pro Bowl now. They don't really mean much. Yeah. So,
and
even then, like with him, like
it's just a popularity contest.
You can't go somewhere else, ask for a trade because they're not doing this thing for you. Go to another situation and fucking suck, and your backup come in there and outshine you in the same scheme and system. Like and not to mention with your backup never having had statistical success in the NFL prior to that year.
Hold on, are we talking about Russell Wilson?
Geno Smith. Or Russell Wilson to Geno Smith.
Hold on, but are we talking about Russell Wilson or Joe Burrow right now? Because Jake Browning definitely outplayed Joe Burrow last year.
Jake Browning's Folsom High School, hour away, fucking up north, Sacramento.
Jake Browning, I saw stats on incompletions, percentage of incompletions due to inaccurate throws. Jake Browning was the lowest percentage, 9%.
He deserves to be a starter somewhere where they don't promote Skyline Chili and incest.
No, you know where he should be the starter is in Denver.
Yes, no question. Him and Sean Payton together would be good. I don't know about Bo Nix. I don't trust old quarterbacks when they were so bad at Auburn, and then he finally goes to fucking Oregon to be.
But Cincinnati can't get rid of him because Joe Burrow is just as likely to have a season-ending injury as he is to make it through the whole season. So they need Jake Browning in order to, I could see the Bengals finishing in last in the division or being right up there with us winning 12, 13 games. You never really know with that team. They do have a lot of talent. But if Joe Burrow goes out and they get rid of Jake Browning, who has proven he can come in and play well, not just be like a game manager. He played well. So if they got rid of him and they pivoted over to some cheap, kind of like retread or a rookie or like somebody unproven, then you're playing with fire. That's how you end up. If Joe Burrow goes out, gets hurt in week 6. Then you got to try and make it through 12 weeks of football with a quarterback who really can't win games. We got lucky that we even made it to the playoffs with Tyler Huntley as our quarterback. But you see what happens when you get into meaningful games with a guy who can't win on his own merit.
Well, I mean, if Joe Burrow gets hurt again, Bengals fans could always cope by going to their local movie theater on Christmas to go watch Nosferatu. That way they can watch fucking Bill Skarsgård act as Joe Burrow because they look exactly the fucking same.
Macaulay Culkin.
Here goes.
Kinda. Dude, he looks like fucking Bill Skarsgård. He looks like fucking Pennywise the Clown, ready to lure children down to the sewer.
We got anything else we got to cover this week? Have we? I feel like
we've covered
something.
We covered a lot. No, honestly,
we did. We even pivoted on just random bullshit for a second, but I feel like we've gotten there. So if anything, let's go do it for this week's episode.
Fuck the Browns.
Fuck the Bengals.
Trippy's still awake. Trippy's still awake, everybody.
Trippy's still awake.
Motherfuck the Steelers. We will be back next week or some other time to discuss this, that, and the other.
They probably think I'm asleep. I want to sleep.
Trippy was pulling a me. He was being an elite listener. I respect it. But either way, we'll be back to this next week or some other time to discuss this, that, and the other. But meanwhile, it's time for me to die. Oh!
Do it, Trippy. That was a good one. Another good one.
Nice. The biggest thing, and I figured out what it is projecting. Because if I go hella loud, like, oh! It's gonna